Welcome back to another edition of AFTERBUZZ TV's recap of Being Mary Jane, Season 4, Episode 9, getting serious. Things are getting very serious. We're talking about that right here, so stay tuned on AFTERBUZZ TV.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another recap right here on AFTERBUZZ TV. We do this every episode. Woo. Season 4, Episode 9, getting serious. I'm one of your hosts, Megan Thomas, at Meg Scoop on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, everywhere. What about you, man?
Hello, everybody. It is Howard the Third. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, at Howard the Third, and of course, my website, howardthethird.com.
Allie and Fanny are not here tonight, but they send their love to you guys. They miss you all. Make sure you use the hashtag ABTVBMJ so we can see your comments and we'll shout you out.
Yes.
Let's get into this episode. It's quite serious.
Ooh.
A lot of distractions going on, just like the song by Kalani called Distraction.
Yeah. Do you want to be?
Okay, I need one word from you to describe this episode.
Heartbroken. Definitely heartbroken. As everybody knows, I was rooting for Cara and Orlando.
Ooh. Okay, well, actually, I'm going to say my one word is mad.
Ooh.
Mad.
Yes.
Mad, honey. All right, let's get into it. So let's talk about Orlando and Cara.
Yes, let's do it.
Okay, so it starts off, Orlando comes over drunk to Cara's house. He's acting like a frat boy.
Of course.
Because he's young. He likes to go out and party, you know? But he's, at last episode, he decided that he wanted them to be in a relationship. And Cara obviously was a little uncomfortable with that. She didn't move to New York for all this love stuff, okay?
No, she's a working woman. She's working. She's here to get her career. Go ahead, girl.
Right. So, of course, they're in a relationship, and now he decides to tell the world on an interview, national, global interview. He decides to tell them, I'm in love. I'm in a relationship.
See, that's a rookie move. She should have coached him and said, listen, babe, since we're doing this, let's keep it under wraps. We don't need to go ahead and just show the world. You know what I mean? Like, take a moment. Like, that's rookie. Like, come on. And she's a producer, so she should have been like, they're going to ask you this, going to ask you that. Say this, say that.
But she probably didn't think like, okay, he's just going to go tell everybody. Because most of the times, I mean, most athletes aren't just going to be that open with their relationship, number one. And number two, I think if you look in his past, he wasn't talking about girls like that. You just saw him in pictures, drinking, hanging out, partying with chicks. But he wasn't telling interviewers like, hey, I'm in a monogamous what did he say when he was drunk? Monotonous relationship.
I said he ain't never gonna get this damn word. He ain't gonna get it.
So of course he's on the interview. He tells the whole world he's with Cara. They show her picture. Now they're on like their version of TMZ, ZZ TV. She's the MILF of the month. Do you think it's a good idea that he's so open and that the relationship is public?
No. I think as soon as you tell the world, especially a celebrity tells the world, everybody's going to nitpick. Everybody's going to dig in her past, dig in his past, what's going on, dig even in the kid's past. You know what I mean? Like, it just opens up a door that doesn't need to be open. And then now, as we saw in this episode, she has so many thoughts. Well, I'm not the youngest girl out there. I have 2 kids.
Insecurities come in.
Exactly. So if he just would have waited at least, maybe 6 months, and she could have been like, okay, I'm secure. I got this man. But
I think that kind of shows like he was super excited about being in a relationship with her, and he really did. This is something different. He wasn't treating her like he treated every other girl. He told the world that he was with her. He told the world, I'm in love. I'm in a monogamous relationship. Like, that's a big step. I remember when Usher did that with his first wife, Tamika.
And you see what happened.
Oh, but it was so great because you knew that Usher, like, he dated Chili. He wasn't as open with her, like telling the world, hey, I love Chili, everyone. Even though everyone knew they were together, but it was just a big difference. Here's this one. He's like fighting for her in public, like, I love Tamika. I don't care what anyone says. Like, it was so sweet.
It was. I mean, but side note, Usher should have stayed with Chili.
No, he's got a great wife now.
Okay, well, we know that's the past.
But yeah, so she's, of course, Cara's just feeling kind of weirded out, by all of this, her newfound celebrity, which comes with dating a celebrity.
Right.
But here's the thing. I've always said, my girl Oprah told me this once.
Oprah. My name's Trump. Okay.
She said
let me set my teeth for this.
You gotta keep something for yourself. And she was talking about celebrity relationships. She was like, you're in the public eye, but there's gotta be something that is just for you.
Right.
And so when you talk about your relationship to the public, you then give them a license to talk about your relationship and to have their own opinion on it. So you just got to keep that to yourself. So I can see why Cara would be like, I don't want to talk about it. You know, let's just keep this between us. You know, if people want to take pictures and snap, that's what they do. We don't have to talk about it.
I just wish she would have went a better way about it. Like, she was just, the wall was just so high up and it was just so thick. It's like, Cara, come on. Like, you can have your career and be happy. He's a good man.
Right.
He loves you. Loved you.
After she got in it, after she was like, look, your sex is horrible, and then made it, like, basically taught him, like, everything. Now he's sprung.
That's what I'm
now
talking
he's
about.
In love. He's giving her son good advice, not like celebrity, but like good, how to be a good person advice. Her son's so excited now. He's popular because his mom's an athlete. Cara's even getting stuff great stuff happening to her because now she's going to Garrett's super secret exclusive monthly poker game.
Exactly.
Like, she's getting, girl, come on.
This is it. Like, this is like, you're doing it.
Right.
This is actually helping your career because, I mean, let's face it, she wasn't getting calls to the little poker game before Orlando.
Right.
I mean, yes, you had to get it because of him, but just because you got it don't mean you can't make it yours.
Right.
You got your foot in this door, you better do what you got to do.
Right. And so, of course, Cara's packing for her trip to the Virgin Islands because she's going to be doing a story with Rhonda. And she says that Orlando's too young and too famous. It's not like they were going to grow old. And like at that point, I was like, this ain't gonna work out because she sounds like a woman who, you know, like a lot of times when women don't want to be hurt, like even guys, I guess, will self-sabotage. We'll just, instead of being super positive about it, like, you know what, there are a billion things that can go wrong.
Right.
Well, I just focus on the good things, and she didn't do that.
Exactly. Like, she was just such a Debbie Downer, you know? And I'm glad that Mary Jane was like, girl, let's have a for real talk. Because that's how I would be my friends. Like, for real. You know, you're sabotaging yourself. Right. Why are you making up these excuses? You're in love. It's okay. Trust this man, you know?
Right, but I mean, she does have a point, though. Because you see that when she gets back from her trip, she's going through, she sees pictures of them, and then of course you see like other pictures, old pictures of him. She's like scrolling, she sees the pictures of him with girls partying, drinking, kissing, all this stuff. That's in his past, though, you know?
Exactly.
And it's, you know, that you can tell her insecurities are showing because she just doesn't want to get hurt. She doesn't want to be another notch on his belt, another stupid girl who decide, you know, so she does the unthinkable and she breaks up with him.
Why?
And it was
it was terrible.
It was. He came there with flowers. I missed you, even though it's been 24 hours. It was so sweet.
It was really
It was muy corny, though. It's very corny. But it was so sweet. And then she had to hit him with the, you don't have to play anymore. We know this is a business arrangement.
Like, really, girl? And she knew good and well that was no business arrangement. It started off business, but she fell for him.
She did. And then, of course, he says, I've never said this to anyone. I love you.
Oh, baby,
and she just looked at him and she was like, she didn't even say, I don't feel the same way.
She gave me the Monique and Precious
What
look.
was it?
Monique and Precious.
Let me see.
No, what you doing?
Right. And then he says, if I walk out the door, I'm never coming back. And she lets him walk out, and then she cries.
I yelled at the screen because why you just gonna let this man that you don't put in time, effort, money, feelings, everything into him, and he's telling you, I want to be here.
Right.
I want to be here. I love you. But if you let me go, I'm leaving. And he had every right to say that.
Right.
Because he's put in his time too.
Right. And he told a billion people, he stepped out and said, I'm going to, because here's what happened. When you tell everybody, you're now accountable. Yeah. And that's what he did. He was like, I'm not just going to, because that's kind of safe to be like, I'm not going to tell nobody because in case this doesn't work out, nobody's going to have to know. Just keep going. Exactly. But he's like, no, I'm going to tell everybody, which means like, I kind of got to stick around because I don't want to look stupid out here. I just told all these people I'm in a monogamous relationship. So poor Cara, she's been through a lot.
I felt her pain though when she was breaking down. I was like,
well,
it's your fault, but
right. If he gave good advice to your son, your kids, like, come on, Cara.
Why, Cara? Like, I understand. I feel like she was crying because she knew he was a good man. She knew she loved him.
But she just didn't want. She was like, "I'm gonna beat you to the punch. I'm not gonna let you hurt me because I've already been hurt and I've already had a like sad love story. I'm not gonna let it happen again."
And that's what sucks about insecurities. You know what I mean? It just psychs you out. It's like, dang.
You look back on it, lady, you gonna hurt your back.
Dragging all them bags like that.
Stop carrying those bags, Cara.
Come on,
Drop
Cara,
those bags off. So we'll see what happens with Cara and Orlando. I hope it's not the end of them, especially because we only have one more episode until the mid-season finale.
Right. Because they're going back, shooting right now, season 4, part B.
They are. So let's see what happens with that story. So let's move on over to Lee and Mary Jane. Last episode, if you remember, it ended with Lee's baby mama and his ex asking him for his sperm so she and her lesbian girlfriend could have a baby. And now he's contemplating. He's thinking, he's just kind of like, I don't know, that's a weird request, because he said at the time when Zoe cheated on him, they were talking about having a baby, and his kids have been asking for another brother or sister, and now the only way he gets to be a part of that is if he has a baby with her.
Which I don't believe. Like, there's other ways. You're still connected because you guys still share kids. It's not like you can't be a cool uncle or, you know what I mean? The goddaddy, you know what I mean?
True. I mean, that is true. It's a different type of family these days.
I mean, this is the new normal.
Right. I am the goddaddy to my kid's brother or sister. Like, it happens, you know? But I can see why he's like, I just needed some space to kind of go through this in my head, because I mean, he had a family with her. He clearly still loved Zoe, but you know, she decided she didn't want to be with him, and so there's a lot of hurt with that, especially when you have a family and no one ever thinks they're gonna get divorced, you know?
Right.
Like, you don't start off like that, so you think your family's gonna be forever, and now you're like, okay, this new baby is gonna change the dynamic of our already like different type of family.
Exactly, and that's his. Well, I mean, they did say they were trying for the baby before she cheated,
right?
So clearly they were in love, but I thought that they thought the new baby would hopefully, you know, save the marriage, which doesn't really work out that well. You know, you can't just have a baby and that'll fix everything.
Right.
But it just sucks. I didn't like how he said he had to get air.
Well, I mean,
do you think he was entitled to that? Like,
yeah, absolutely. When you have to make a big decision, I think you need to allow someone to have space to think that through. You know what I'm saying? Even though in your head, I'm sure, I mean, you could see it on Mary Jane's face, is like, the answer is clear.
Yeah.
But you got to let people come to their own conclusion, because if you don't, then they're going to resent you. And they're, you know what I'm saying? Just let them, give him space. He's a reasonable man. He's a logical man. Mary Jane, of course, tells Cara that she's annoyed with the fact that he needed space. Like, why can't you just tell her no? You know, especially when she's dealt with fertility issues herself. She wants to have a baby. She hasn't even had to talk because Zoe's beat her to the punch. With the whole,
yeah, you're right.
You know what I'm saying? She's like, I can't even get to that point to tell him that I want a baby with him, you know?
Exactly.
But Lee was blowing up her phone. She wasn't picking up, and he actually comes to her job.
Here we go, popping up again. Popping up. Who keeps giving him a pass? How does he keep getting through security? Can't she call down and say,
He has
listen,
popped up at her job quite a few times.
I know my boo don't be popping up like that. Unless you bringing some lunch.
Right.
Where the food at?
Right.
Because you're not going to keep popping up talking about some serious stuff where I don't even speak to my coworkers like that. So you know they eavesdropping because they see my boo come up in here. So she's trying to keep her stuff on the low.
Right. But he comes to her job to tell her that he decided he's not going to have a baby with Zoe. You know, that he just needed a moment to kind of mourn that part of his life.
He could have told her that over the phone.
He tried to. She didn't pick up.
I mean, she wasn't ready.
Well, he just was like, I just want to tell you the good news because I have to go tell Zoe. So I give him that. He's like, I wanted to tell you first before I go tell her. I thought it was overkill. I mean, if I would have been like, look, you didn't pick up your phone. It's not my fault. I tried to tell you. I text you, and you wasn't responding.
Exactly.
So, whatever. But see, Lee goes out there. He's a good guy.
He is a good guy. I do like him. I just don't like the pop-up situation. That's the
you Anthony thinks he is so stalkerish. She does not like him. All right. So then at the end of the episode, we see that Lee agrees to have a baby with Mary Jane. And she was like, okay, we got to, we need help. And he was just so like accommodating and was like, you know what, that's fine. There's the best doctors in the world for fertility are here. Let's do this. Oh, that was so sweet.
I know. I was like, finally, she's gonna,
gonna have her baby. But you know what? And I wanted to, and it was just so like, oh, girl. This season started off with us not liking Lee. Now we are in love with Lee. And now you're going to do him dirty like that. And he's agreed to have a baby with you and not a baby with his other baby mama and the kids he already has. Oof. Ooh, yes. Ooh. So let's talk about Mary Jane at work. So, of course, you know, her and Justin had a big win last episode because they got the justice kicked out of the running to be a Supreme Court judge. And, you know, everyone's like, she's still riding the high wave of what happened.
As she should, because it was a great interview. I mean, she did that, so I'm happy. She should just ride it on into the deep waves.
And that's what Justin says. He was like, okay, we go in our meeting. I know you have an idea for a story, but follow my lead. So she follows his lead, and he throws the Liz Torno story back, a bullying story. And, of course, Rhonda bites the bullet. She takes the bait because she's like, wait, I did that story, so I will do the follow-up. Thank you very much.
I didn't see that coming. When Justin said, follow my lead, I said, oh, here we go.
Right.
I knew it was too good to be true.
Right.
He's going to set her up. This is what I was waiting for.
Right.
And then when she took the bait, I said, okay.
And that's what he said. He was like, she's got to go out of town. Somebody's got to fill in. It's going to be you, Mary Jane. So she's just like, wow, this is huge. Now, but when he said that, I still don't trust him.
Right.
I still don't trust him, even though he said, you know, basically I'm doing this because if you're in that seat, then who gets to be up there with you? It's me.
I mean, that makes sense.
I mean, yeah. So like he's like, so everyone will know that I was the one that helped put you there. So this is beneficial for me too. But something about this is just real shady to me. Yeah. I don't know if because he's fine. Michael Ealy is fine with the blue eyes. Something about his eyes I just don't trust. Because you remember that movie he was in where he played the crazy dude? What was that with?
Was it Sanaa Lathan?
Yes.
Was that with her? What?
He played the crazy guy. Ever since then,
he ain't been the same.
Him. I can't trust him. I feel like he's a liar.
Like he's standing around the corner waiting on me.
See?
It's always the cute ones, though. It's
always how it is.
The cute ones.
Why? Okay, so of course, so because Rhonda's gonna be out of town, they're looking for a fill-in host, and Mary Jane goes up to Rhonda's co-host Aaron, and she's like, "Look, basically, I could have bribed you, all this stuff, but I'm just gonna be straightforward with you. I want to fill in. I think I'll be great." And he asks her, "Are you gonna run the ball in, or are you gonna like just try to like get the football analogy?" And I was like, oh, she held her own with that Seattle Seahawks answer.
But I was like, okay, I guess everybody has their own type of unique thing to test somebody.
So basically he was like, you know, are you going to be conservative with it, or are you going to like go balls to the wall?
Okay.
And she basically was like, balls to the wall. No, we're going to go straight to the middle and get that point. Even though it's riskier, we're going that way.
Okay.
So I think that was kind of for him. He was like, you know, for a man who loves sports, he probably was like, okay, she got heart. The kid got heart.
Why is it that he has, you know, he's one of the main factors of the decision? Why wouldn't Garrett say, hey, let me come together, let me talk with some of the other execs and see who should be a good fit while she's out?
No, I think it's kind of a bit of everything.
Okay.
But because Aaron is going to be there, this is his like permanent job. I think he has probably the most say, because like I'm the one that has to interact with her. I'm the one that has to have to banter with her. And if the chemistry is off, then your show ratings are going to fail. So if you want me to have good chemistry, you should probably let me have final say who I get to have in the anchor chair next to me.
That's a good way, yeah.
So yeah, do you think Mary Jane was too bold for just walking up to Aaron and saying, like, I want this?
No, because she knew this is already a cutthroat environment. She had to go and take what was hers. You know what I mean? She knows Rhonda's not going anywhere. She signed her five-year contract. This could be her only way, and this could be a good way to lead into somewhere else.
Right.
Let's see if they throw in somebody, you know how we have the Today Show and Good Morning America.
Right.
We can have a little rivalry going on.
Great Day, USA, and the
America, USA.
Present show instead of Today. It's the present.
Ooh.
I don't know what else to call it. Their version of it, right? Okay, so she meets with Rhonda afterwards. Rhonda gives her this amazing, exquisite coffee that Mary Jane's like, I don't want coffee. Oh, you have to try it. What do you want? 1 or 2 sugars? I need any. Okay, well, it takes the bitterness out.
I was like, Rhonda, if I tell you I don't want coffee, I don't want coffee.
Right,
you ain't got no
but I
water?
think it was one of those like power moves, because it was kind of like, yeah, I'm going to ask you and be nice about it, but no, I'm going to make you do what I want anyway. So it was just like a symbolic of their relationship as it is. Like, I'm going to play nice with you, but the truth is, what I want goes.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Because think about it, what I want goes. And so, of course, Mary Jane drinks the coffee. She's like, "Ooh, this is exquisite. Like, you are onto something."
Like, thanks, girl.
And so, of course, Rhonda tells Mary Jane she's not going to recommend her as her fill-in. And she also mentions that usually the fill-in has to have sex with him. Like, there's some sexual favors involved here. And she says that she's looking out for Mary Jane. She's like, look, I've already signed the ink. on my contract. It's not like we have to fight each other because clearly there's only one of us that can sit in that chair, and I've already signed for the next 5 years to be in that chair. So
that's true.
Let's not fight.
I still think, I mean, she was still setting her up. You know what I mean?
She was, but she was, I don't, at this point, it was kind of like, I was trying to save you, like, because you was going to have sex with this man, because that's kind of how he does with whoever fills in that chair. And we see that's what happened with Sylvia and the other anchor.
Natalie,
yes. We see that they had to, Natalie is the Asian
Natalie's
chick.
the Asian, yeah.
And she's upset because she said, I just put on a performance with Aaron. I faked an orgasm, all of this stuff, just so he can, choose me as anchor and all that.
That's what you get, girl. You should have known that sleeping your way to the top is not going to do
works.
it. You know what I mean?
It might get you a little far, but it ain't going to get you far enough to where you really want to go, honey. You better work on your merit. Praise the Lord.
Praise him. But then she had enough nerve to get upset that he was sleeping with the other girl. Then said, Aaron said he doesn't like short-haired chicks. That part had me laughing.
Right. Like, baby, they don't care. They say that, but they don't really care.
Exactly. And she really thought she was the only one. Like,
poor you.
Girl.
Everyone knew.
He's got a reputation. Come on.
So, of course, with Natalie blowing up, that would make it an uncomfortable position for him to have to co-host with her. So he doesn't pick her. He doesn't pick Sylvia. He just kind of had sex with them, just, because they were hoping that they would get to fill in. And then we see that he picks Mary Jane. Rhonda is salty as I don't know what.
Yes, the look on her face was like, oops, egg all on it.
She was so salty. And then she has this conversation. Here she goes again with her nice smugness. And she tells Mary Jane, it's live TV. Good luck to you, because the girl that you replaced, she actually was on. And she filled in and she messed up, and then she was gone the same day.
These mind games Rhonda plays. I mean, I do have to give it to her.
Right.
The mind games are strong, because Mary Jane, I would have already been like, what? Well, maybe I shouldn't, I would have been second guessing myself.
But you know what happens when you deal with somebody like that at work? What? It makes you better. Because now it's like, okay, she's Mary Jane. Like, this is either going to make her or break her.
That's true.
And if she can withstand the stuff that Rhonda's throwing her way, if she can outsmart her, if she can just like hold tight, she actually will be better than Rhonda. And just like Justin says that she's better than Rhonda.
She is. I mean, these mind games alone, you got to be pretty strong, pretty tough to deal with somebody like Rhonda. So already, if she's standing up here going toe to toe with the big boss, she's already pretty much about to be better than Rhonda.
Okay, girl, you better get that confidence level up.
Yes.
And so then she's practicing, but she keeps messing up, and so she calls Justin on late night tip to come to the studio and help her. I was like, why they try to play it like, who is she calling? I was like, we already know it's Justin. He comes over there, and then he gets real close and touches her on the face. She felt the electric spark, because we could feel it.
Exactly. I felt it. I was like, oh, he on my face. I know,
you were like this. You touched her chin like, oh, Justin.
I said, hold up, Michael? What?
He touched her chin. And I was like, he's getting a little too friendly. So then, of course, Mary Jane, the next day, she's prepping. She looks good. She got her hair on lock. Even what's his name? What's her hairstylist name?
Oh.
I
wanted to say TT too, but I think.
Starts with T. I don't know. But he says, ooh, I noticed something between you and Justin. Is there something going on?
He picked it up.
He picked it up very quickly, because it's very obvious. Only to find out that Rhonda pulled a boss move, and even though she was in the Virgin Islands, she took her friend's private jet and flew back with Liz to do the interview on air right there.
That I honestly could not believe that.
I was like, you know what, Rhonda, you the real MVP. You are, because like, think about it. She's like, I'm not gonna let you take my chair.
Right.
I'm not even though Rhonda has security, like she said, because
she's so secure.
She's got the job for 5 years, but she's like, no, I'm gonna make sure I got this for 5 years.
But the whole thing is, if you got this, set in stone in contract, you're there for 5 years. Girl, just do your little Virgin Islands vacation.
It's here's the thing. That's what keeps you sharp. That's why Rhonda is where she is, and that's why she's the best at what she does, because she never gets content. She never just goes asleep behind the wheel and says, I'll I'll just do it on autopilot because at this point, I mean, I got everything set. And so that's
true.
how somebody comes and takes your spot from under you. She's just like, I'm not going to just sit back and just let you do that. No, I'm going to fight. I've worked hard to be here, so I gotta give it to Rhonda because that kind of work ethic is very rare.
We give it to her.
You salty? You ain't want to clap. So then, of course, MJ is so angry. She's in her office throwing stuff around because she's like, "This is my one chance, and I didn't get it." But Aaron even tells her, he was like, "There'll be another chance. Like, don't worry.
Yeah,
you'll get your chance." So now she's angry. She's throwing a temper tantrum. She says to Justin that this is a failure. He's a failure. There are failures. And he's like, no, this is a setback. He gives her the best pep talk of all time.
It was really good. I was like, oh my gosh. Like, I can run the role. I was like, can I get a job at the Today Show to have somebody like Justin?
Absolutely. But then Justin and MJ kiss.
Ooh, when I tell you my wig was snatched, honey.
Your wig is I see, because it ain't on your hair.
You see I'm on tonight. It was all the way snatched. Cornrows and all. I said no. I just knew it. Like, you could tell it was coming because they would always say, oh, we can't even agree upon the colors. That's when I was like, okay, when they couldn't agree, like few episodes ago, we can't agree upon the colors. I knew something was going to go down.
Yeah, and you can just tell, like, there's so much sexual tension building up between them, and for them to kiss, I was just like, ooh, Mary Jane couldn't even close her mouth. I was just like, oh girl, me too. I ain't closing my mouth after I kiss him. But then he was just like, okay, Garrett's probably looking for us. He didn't even seem fazed.
He didn't. And over here, she's in a daze, like, what's today?
Right, which is why I'm even more concerned about him. I feel like he's up to something.
You think so?
I really think, and then Cara even gave her a warning again. This episode was like, girl, watch her back. Like, yeah, he's still sneaky. And I think so. I even kind of think he might, now I'm wondering if he's playing he's actually still on Rhonda's side.
Ooh.
But it's like, look, this is what we're going to do. I'm going to get you on our team. You get really close to her.
Ooh, Megan, that's a good one.
That's what I'm saying.
Ooh, Megan, that's a really
and he's
good
making
one.
it seem like he's not with Rhonda. Because it just doesn't suit him to be, if Rhonda is like, look, I'm number one and I want you on my team, it doesn't suit him to be like, no, Rhonda, I'm going to go on team number 2.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what purpose do you have when you're already on team number 1?
Right. And he did say he didn't like office romance.
Right.
He did say, like, I don't really do that whole interaction office.
That's what I'm saying. So I'm like, this is no good.
Right.
And he met her boyfriend in this episode, and for him to do that, I'm like, he's sneaky. And now I'm with Cara. Girl, watch your back, because something is not right with him. So then, they kiss, and I just was like, ooh, I can't breathe.
I know. I was just like, are they... what else are we doing? Are we kissing? Are we doing, second base? Are we doing more? I thought it was going to lead into something else. I mean, the blinds were closed. So I said, they're going to try to get a little quickie.
That sounds like we need to take it to predictions.
Let's do it.
Yes. Let's do it.
And now, your AFTERBUZZ TV
predictions. So let's start there. We saw that the promo for next week. It looks like we kind of already know what's going to happen. MJ and Justin are going to get it in, and it looks like they are in the studio.
I mean, perfect place to do it. She can't do it at a hotel.
No, that's the worst place. It looked like they were in the actual studio, the Great Day.
Oh yeah, it did look
studio.
okay.
Do you know what happens? There's like, you have to always assume the mics are on, the mics are hot, and that the cameras are rolling. You always assume that's like the number one rule when you're in this profession.
Right.
The mics are always hot. That's what they tell you when you're in school. So don't say anything, don't do anything that you will regret, because how many people have gotten in trouble for stuff they thought they said off air?
Mm-hmm, that's very true. But
so,
I mean, it's the real.
No,
child, doing it at the workplace.
No,
I got freaky out.
She's worked too hard. That's like such an amateur move. That's how you lose your job. That's how you lose your job, and just everything. Ugh.
But you gained a notch on life. You lived.
Really? You lived to be correspondent on the internet for your life.
Listen.
I'm just saying. So my prediction is going to be, we kind of see that her and Justin are going to get it in the office. I think what's going to happen is that there is some cameras rolling. I actually think this is probably part of Justin and I don't know if this is really part of his idea, but I think it's Rhonda's. She might have some cameras rolling, and they're going to have the footage, and Rhonda's going to blackmail Mary Jane and say, if you don't want this to get out, guess what? Like, you got to do everything I tell you to do. And her life is going to be a living HE-double hockey sticks.
Oh, how do I follow up with that, Megan? You know what? I really just think I want to go about my girl, Cara, because I think she's going to try to fight back for Orlando. Of course, Orlando's not going to give her the time of day, but she's going to say something or do, get him a gig or just be there. Do something on air where it's like, baby, I love you. I want you back. I messed up. You know what I mean? She's got to go that extra mile and just televise it. And I also think that...
Wait, I want to add that before you go on to Lee. I think what's going to happen is... all of Cara's stuff is going to get taken from her. So she's not going to be invited to the poker game anymore. She can't go there. Her sons are going to be mad at her and like they're going to be like, Mom, you ruined our lives because you don't date Orlando anymore. And she's going to really see how, not only that her heart hurts, but how much he affected her life in a positive way. And she's going to, you're right, I think she's going to have to do something on air to be like, I miss you, I love you, please come back to me. Yes.
Definitely. I also think MJ and Lee, this might be the end. I know they might have said, hey, you know, let's have this baby, but he's going to find out about Justin. Because he kind of picked it up on this episode. Like, oh, I thought I was imagining a guy in a suit, you know.
Like an ugly corporate diaper dude.
Pretty much an older, you know, maybe Caucasian man who just looks bald and crazy, you know. But he's going to find out about Justin. Justin's not going to care. He's going to turn around and say, well, this is the job. And pretty much leave MJ. So MJ's not going to have a man and she may not have a career after this one.
Ooh, yes, because, oh my goodness, I'm not even going to follow up with that because that is probably it right there. Lee, just when you got everything, it might always seem like when you have everything everything's going perfect in your life, that's when somebody wants to come in there and mess it all up.
Right.
Oh, Satan, you a liar.
Ooh, the devil's a lie.
Messing up my good relationship with Lee when he promised to give me a baby finally.
You a lie, Satan.
Not
today.
Not today. Let us know what your predictions are for the mid-season finale.
Yes.
Go ahead and tweet us. Use the hashtag ABTVBMJ. I am one of your hosts, Megan Thomas, at Meg Scoop on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. You can also catch me every day on All Def Digital hosting The Drop. What about you, sir?
Hello, everybody. I am Howard III. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, at Howard III. Of course, my website, howardthird.com. I also do the Bring It After show that comes on Lifetime. A couple of girls, you know, getting down to hip hop. And I do the Keeping Up with the Kardashians after show. You see that? Kim got me all tongue-tied. So tune into that one.
And make sure you guys tune in next week for the mid-season finale. We'll see you then. Peace out.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.